Hi and welcome to Rockin' the Planet. I'm Shane. I'm so glad you could join me tonight just to celebrate more of the great wealth of New Zealand talent. This week we have a real fun chat with a woman we call the trumpet diva, total talent, Edwina Thorne. And if I survive that, we will reacquaint ourselves with a legendary figure of New Zealand rock music, Zane Griff. But first, let's see who's been rocking the planet this week. Now, Elton John is in the firing line for sexual harassment. He strongly denies the charges from his disgruntled former security officer. He allegedly twisted the nipples of his security officer before calling him a gorgeous thing. And then he told him to take out his old Todger and show it to Uncle Elton. Meanwhile, Elton is back on the road supporting his latest album titled Wonderful Crazy Night, which has become a bestseller, breaking into the top 10 in the USA. Any day now, he opens a string of shows in Las Vegas until the end of April. Then it's off to Europe, which will keep him on stage until the end of 2016. And now to someone else who travels the globe with her golden trumpet, the lovely Edwina Thorne. Now, she's really a human dynamo. She never stops, and it's so good to have her here just for a few moments at Rockin' the Planet. How are you, Edwina? It's good to see you.
Great to see you, sweetheart.
You're looking fantastic.
Oh.
Love that red jacket.
Yes, from Turkey, actually.
Turkey?
Yes.
Another place you've been?
Oh, many countries.
Okay, now trumpets. We're all about trumpets, aren't we, really?
Well, there's variations. There's the cornet, there's the flugelhorn.
Yeah, but you are the diva of the
I
trumpet.
have promoted myself as a trumpet diva. I've reinvented myself from being a school teacher and a mother and wife and all the things I went to after I came back from New York. Yeah. And now I've gone back to being an artiste, and as Paul Holmes, the late great Paul Holmes, said, I'm a trumpet diva.
Now I have to just set some years here. So you're in New York, what year?
I left New Zealand in '79, did my degree at Berkeley in Boston, Berkeley College of Music.
This is a big school of music.
Oh, totally renowned. And then in '82, went to New York and did my MBA, and left there and lived in Rochester for a couple of years. And came back in probably the late 80s, because my child was born in '88, and that's where I get the calendar. But you know, I've known you for a long time.
You have? I mean, since the '80s.
Well, actually, do you remember performing with Max Cry and the Children?
No, I don't actually. Max Cry and the Children. I've worked with Max Cryer many times, so
I was a child singer in that choir.
You were in the...
Yeah, from 12 to about 14 or 15, and that led me on to a very serious career in the trumpet, actually, because I was very short and young-looking and flat-chested and everything, and I was in that choir for a long time, and I really was like, oh my gosh, I want to do something serious, and I took up the trumpet vendance as a result of that choir. And the money I earned and from that TV show, Dario Max, helped me to go to America.
Now, why the trumpet? I mean, you had guitars, pianos, you got so many instruments. What drew you to the trumpet?
You don't know my family. No. I'm from a Salvation Army background.
Here we go.
Gosh.
Well, it could have been tambourine.
Well, it's funny you say that, because that's exactly what they wanted me to play. They didn't have girls in the band back then, and because of that I left the church and joined my mother's church. But my father was Lloyd Thorne, who had that radio program called Brass Bands on Parade, and he was also conductor of the National Band New Zealand. So I had a very formal upbringing of music, not just brass band, but we sang Grace in 3-part harmony. I hung out in the Salvation Army Church. It was a very glorious time, and I studied music furiously. In fact, I've discovered when I left school that was really the only thing I could do was be a musician.
Are you still with the Salvation Army? No, have another drink. Well, they do a great job, though, I must say. Salvation Army.
I love my background. I love my childhood upbringing. But as I said to you, back in my age group, I didn't want to play the tambourine. They didn't leave girls in the band.
And that led you to the trumpet.
So when I went to Epsom Girls Grammar School, they said to my mother, oh, of course she's going to play cornet trumpet, because my father was legendary Lloyd Thorne, and my two brothers were champions of champion on the cornet. I was taught the piano to accompany them. Yeah. And I was like, of course I do. Mum was like, oh, because she didn't think it was a ladylike instrument. Incidentally, I've just come back from Dunedin and played in an all-female horn section, so it's like, oh
Well,
my
then,
God, times have changed.
Oh, look, I mean...
It's great, you know?
You didn't see many girls playing guitar out there, not electric guitars and Metallica and heavy metal, but these days they're all out there rocking, and it's great.
And
so you went to Miles Davis's funeral?
I was fortunate enough to meet him.
Oh, it's amazing that you met him.
And I said I was from New Zealand. The first thing he said was, I like the All Blacks.
Is that right?
I remember that.
There you go.
I actually went to All Blacks game when I came back to New Zealand.
Did he ever come to New Zealand?
He did. I was pregnant at the time with Kane, so it was, I could tell you the year.
So that's
So I judge everything by my births and pregnancies. 1988.
Yeah, so when he came here, that's obviously when you met him.
No. I met him in
When you were in the States?
In the States. He'd just come out from 10 or 8 years of cocaine abuse.
Oh.
And it was 79, I just moved to Boston to study, do my degree in music. And I heard, because my band or people I knew were at a sound check, I went along to the sound check and went to the bathroom. I jumped up there and went, hello, I'm from New Zealand. And that's where I got to meet him.
So you got to know him.
Yeah.
All right, so anyway, locally...
You have to just do it. You just can't, like, sit back and think about these things. You just have to jump up there and they're going to say, bugger off, what are they going to say?
Look, you've only got
I
one
like the All
life.
Blacks.
It's very short. Life is very short. You get out there and you use it to your advantage. And you get out there and you meet who you can. And that's what you do. You're out there and you entertain everybody. Now, like I say, you perform all sorts of music.
Yeah.
Okay. In New Zealand, do you find it difficult to sort of mix with, different musos over here? You're playing. Do you play folk music? Do you?
No, I don't have a problem. I believe my late father would say, there's only two types of music, good and bad.
You never stop learning.
You never stop learning. You just got to embrace what's happening, and it might be some rap artist or someone playing drums on the street or the sounds of whatever's happening. I've been to the Festival of Arts recently. Oh, God bless Auckland. And we've got such rich in culture. And
incredible.
these opportunities.
This program runs on amazing amount of music that we have in New Zealand. No one understands. We have so many gifted people in this country playing music, and no one's got a chance to see them except here on Rock on the Planet. Little plug. Apart from the trumpet, I mean, you're now singing and you're entertaining. Now let's broaden the horizon.
Okay,
You're actually an entertainer.
I struggle with the word singing because I'm a trained trumpet player, and I was a child singer on a TV show. But Tommy Edley actually said to me, "Come on, Eddie." Eddie used to call me. There's only a few people that call me Eddie. He was one of them.
Just like Eddie.
And Max Cry. And Johnny
Shane
Wilson.
now.
And Shane. Only people who know me from that period of time. And I started singing because at the time there weren't many good jazz singers. That's look different now. There's lots of really good jazz singers out there. Wow. I sing because it's my own compositions. It's the only way it's going to get out there. I sing more as a demo. A lot of people like my voice. I'm always astounded by this. And I do sing joyously because of my Salvation Army background. But
a good voice is an honest voice.
I wouldn't consider... I'm a trumpet player that sings, not a singer that plays the trumpet.
Okay. But you're an entertainer now. That's what
definitely.
We broaden your eyes.
Oh,
we call you an
absolutely.
entertainer.
I've been trained on the hard ground of New York.
Okay.
And that's, you got fined if you turned up late, you didn't have your music, and you didn't have your music stand, or you weren't dressed appropriately. And I've been dependent on how many drinks I sold and how popular I was. Yeah. And I know how to engage people.
That's showbiz.
I know how to engage people.
Now, the main thing is...
I'm not going to sit there and study my music like...
I'm going to have to tie you down here for a second. We're going to have to get to see this video. Now, you've done a video and a song that you actually composed.
Absolutely. I wrote a lot of songs,
And you filmed it.
actually.
I don't know who filmed it. Do you want to give any credit to the person?
Oh, Michael. Peter Michaels.
Just Michael, okay.
Yeah, it was a very intimate situation. I was telling a story, and I could only handle one photographer around me.
Okay. And the song
Happily
is called...
married man, by the way.
Another happily
Be my lover.
There you go. Be my lover. Oh.
Be my lover. For another. Another bliss. I still taste your kiss. Under the cover
that's Edwina Thorne, beautiful song, and funky too, gets away. Nice trumpet pieces in that, see, nice brass section, and you wrote that song.
Yep.
Now, it's quite a raunchy sort of video in places, and did you set out to do a raunchy video or a raunchy song? Be My Lover's pretty raunchy anyway.
Well, I guess it was always there that I was going to go to the edge. You know, when you have these ideas and they film it and everything,
Yeah.
but it doesn't always kind of match up. But when I first saw it, I was shocked. I was like, oh my
Is
God, oh my God, oh my God. But I played it to my sons,
Yeah.
and they said, go for it, Mum.
That's all you need.
And that's all I needed. I thought, well, you know, what do we have a problem with?
Yeah.
I'm not showing anything that you don't see at the Grammy Awards.
Okay.
Is it because I'm a mature woman? Or is it because
Hey.
I'm in New Zealand? Or is it because I'm a trumpet player? What is the problem?
Don't try
Or
and
is it in
define
my own
Just
mind?
enjoy it.
So I think that, you know, I think yoga and all and healthy food I eat and my lifestyle, and if I am a very, you know, healthy looking woman.
Well, Edwina, you
And
do
my-
look healthy, and I'm
then,
so pleased
you
to
know?
see you looking so healthy. And that's all that matters. And you're going to be with us for a long, long time, God willing.
I don't think I'll be
And,
releasing a video like that again
and
soon.
Maybe not another video like that, but keep releasing videos.
I'll definitely be edgy. I'll be doing more cartoons and graphics and stuff. But that was telling a
Keep
story.
writing songs. It's been
Seeing you.
fantastic of you.
You know,
Edwina.
I love you so much.
Edwina, just keep up the good work and keep taking New Zealand music to the world.
Absolutely.
Great having you here, darling.
Thank you.
See you soon. Now, my next very special guest. He started out here in New Zealand with The Human Instinct. He was around about 16 years old, I believe. And he went on to England and the UK in the 70s, and he became part of the UK's new wave, the romantic scene in the 80s. And he's had a great career, and he's back here in New Zealand now, and I am so glad to welcome him back, Mr. Zane Griff.
Hi, Shane.
It is fantastic that you don't know what a thrill for me it is.
Oh,
Really,
you.
I mean, I followed your career, even in London. I saw your name up in lights in certain places, Zane Griff, your band and things
Yeah,
were
it
playing
was
around.
pretty busy.
The pub
throughout
circuit
that
where
time.
I was playing the same thing. And
Yeah.
it was an amazing scene, and that was in the 80s and 70s,
Yeah.
late 70s.
Yeah.
But I've got to go right back to where you started. Now, where are you actually from?
Well,
in
I'm from Auckland. Went to Avondale College
Yeah.
and had school bands and did the clubs circuits here in Auckland
Yeah.
and landed a gig in the Montmartre.
Oh,
And
Montmartre,
then we moved over to is it Hatchett's or
Yeah,
Molly
Hatchett's.
Hatchett's or whatever. And
This is when you met the Greers.
well,
and
the Greers all of a sudden turned up in town with the Instinct, and we shared the stage. So my little band, Madison Kate, was here,
Yeah.
and Human Instinct was there. So we would swap over
Exactly.
and go all night.
Yeah.
And
Hour on, hour off, and all
yeah.
that sort of stuff. Yeah.
and it was when Neil Edwards
was playing bass.
he was playing bass for the Instinct, and for some reason he couldn't go down to Christchurch with the Greers, with the Human Instinct. Morris asked me to join the band, and I did.
You didn't hesitate.
I didn't hesitate.
And you didn't look back because it was a wonderful combination. I remember that you joined, and you were only 16 at the time.
I was just out of school.
And,
yeah.
and you're out of school, and I'm real cool.
And,
you-
and straight down to Christchurch, leaving everyone behind, I guess.
Yeah.
It was kind of scary too.
But also you would have seen, wow, this is what goes on. This is the rock scene. And Human Instinct were very popular at the time. This is
Yeah,
what year?
huge following.
What year was
Oh
this?
yeah, what year? It was 72.
72.
72.
So, yeah. And they'd already established themselves over
They
the
were
years.
well known, and
Yeah.
they had a big following. So everywhere we went, those places were full throughout New Zealand.
Yeah. So you went down to Christchurch and they stayed down there, then you come back to, and you with them, you
Yep.
stayed with them for quite some years.
2 years.
2
I
years.
did, and I did 2 albums with them.
Yeah, and the 2 big albums.
The Hustler and Peg Leg.
So anyway, then inspiration, you must have, what, you're 18 then? So have you decided just to go off to London
Well,
then?
the thing was, Morris was always saying, you know, I'm taking the band back to London, and I couldn't wait any longer, so I went to London because he'd mentored me so much. He'd helped me so much about with composing and writing music, and and I guess I just wanted to go and see the world. I just wanted to go for 6 months.
Yeah.
I did not realise it would be 10 years
Yes,
at the
amazing.
time, but it was
Goes
6 months. And I guess I bless Morris because all the songs I wrote for the Human Instinct, I took them as demos, and off those masters for the Human Instinct, I got a publishing deal with Chapel.
Oh, okay.
So they signed me as a writer, and
so that set you up.
it set me up to live for a year financially.
They gave you a little bit of an advance and said keep writing.
Totally. Yeah.
Fantastic. You found someone in England or UK anyway that had that faith in you. As I say, I saw your name. You did work a bit around the traps and the pubs and things.
I was gigging constantly.
Yeah.
I believe it was 150 odd gigs a year.
You and I, it's been 35 years roughly, I'm guessing it off the top of my head, since I last saw you in a pub in London. I worked at a place called the Red Lion in Fulham. There was a pub gig that everyone played. Lots of Kiwis played there. And I believe you were playing there.
Well, I was setting up my gear for a show that night and you were in there, but I do believe you were talking to Mitch Mitchell of Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Right,
and you were having a chinwag with him, and I was setting up and talking to you very briefly.
Great
I think
day.
that's the last time I saw you.
Yeah, and that's the last time I saw you. And here we are all this time. I didn't even know you were back in New Zealand for some time, but I'm so glad. I'm over the top here. I'm the fan here tonight.
Oh, no, don't get too carried away, please.
Now, you're busy back here again, and you're establishing a new career, really. But I have to go back over the years. Now, while you were in UK, you got to work with the late, great David Bowie.
I did, yeah.
Tell me how that happened.
Warner Brothers signed me as a solo artist, and they were looking for a producer to produce me. And they put me with Tony Visconti.
Couldn't do better, could you?
They commissioned him to do the album. So I spent quite a while with Tony, pre-recording and in Good Earth Studios in Soho, in his studios recording. And it was towards the end of my first album, Bowie walked in and sat in, and
Bowie just walked in the door.
Well, he was working with the planning.
Visconti,
he was planning Ashes to Ashes with Visconti, his next project, because they just come back from Germany doing Heroes, Low, and etc. And they were constantly working together. And David asked Tony to ask if it's okay, can we use Zane and his musicians to do some tracks for...
What a coup for you.
Which became Scary Monster's Super Creeps album for him. Okay. So I was on 3 of those tracks.
So you're on those tracks as well?
There's 3 tracks where I'm on with...
On the Bowie album?
On the Bowie album. So.
Fantastic.
But
was he an easy guy to work with?
Oh, lovely guy. And people ask me, obviously since he's passed, my recollections of him, my recollections of him was sitting on the floor cross-legged with the 12-string, with being one of the boys in the band, showing us the chord structures of what he wanted. And he was just very inquisitive as well. So he was much a lad, but inquisitive like a child, wanting to know, who cuts your hair?
Oh, okay.
Where'd you get your boots, Shane?
It's a bit like me.
Well, you asked me where I got my boots.
Where'd you get your boots? I want something like that.
Yeah, because I quite like those, and I'll go out shopping and get those tomorrow. So he was very inquisitive about fashion, who was leading the fashion world, and like Steve Strange and all the guys out of Visage and stuff. He got to know, in those sessions, he got to know who was what, because he'd been living in Germany for so long.
And so he's going to be back in London. He's working with you guys. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now, you've worked with other top groups in England, and I can name one off the top of my head. It's the Kinks. You actually played bass on one of their albums.
The Misfits.
And you worked with them? The Misfits.
The Misfits album.
And what year was that?
Now, that's going back a little bit before Bowie. That would have been 76, 77-ish, I guess. So I was very fortunate to my name placed as a bassist before them, and they chose me to work.
I was going to say, how did that come about? Is it just that they took name out of the hat?
I was heavily involved with doing a lot of recording work with Arista Records, and a lot of those guys put my name forward to Ray Davies, and so I was working very closely with Ray, and I didn't know how close I was working with Dave Davies, who was actually in the studio all the time, but in the dark.
Yeah, he just sat over in the corner.
He just sat there watching, and
But he still had a lot of input?
No, it was all Ray.
It was all
Dave
right.
sat in the
Just sat in the
corner,
corner.
just watching.
Because they were notorious for not getting on, those two, the two brothers. Ray
So
and Dave
Ray
Davies.
was always in the control room,
Yeah.
but Dave was sitting pretty much just
In
there.
the dark over there. Did you find that a little bit...
Very spooky.
a
Yeah.
bit spooky.
Yeah. But yeah, there was a lot of conflict between the two, but I think now they're fine again. But
Yeah, they're actually talking about reuniting, going on tour and
Yeah.
doing some gigs
Yeah.
together and stuff. Good luck to them too. But that's a wonderful experience for you.
Yeah,
anyway.
incredible
Ray
experience.
Davies, a songwriter that,
Oh, yeah.
you know...
yeah,
he
huge,
can write-
huge inspiration. I would have to say a huge inspiration to Bowie as well.
Yeah.
I do believe,
Yeah,
you know.
to all those
English,
guys, those English guys,
Yeah.
those guys that really churned it out.
Yeah.
Really amazing songs. I could just go on and on all night. But anyway, I won't do that. But you're back here now, and your songwriting is great. And you've got a new album
you.
out. You've
Yeah.
just released it here in New Zealand. I've got it in my hand here. It's called Zangrove. It's called Moody...
Mood swings.
Mood Swings, I
Mood
should
swings.
say. Mood Swings.
Yeah.
Now, what a beautiful song. You just launched it at the Thirsty Dog Tavern recently, which you had a great night, and you had a full band and everything
Yeah,
else.
yeah. Full band, full house, and
A lot of great musicians on stage.
yeah,
with
a
you.
lot of musicians coming to watch us too, which was fantastic. Like Morris Greer from the Human
Morris Greer
Instinct.
turned up, yeah.
Eddie Rayner turned up, and
Split ends.
guys from Citizen Bands were there as well. It was a really nice evening. It was
Yeah,
really
would have
cool.
been great. Yeah. Anyway, you're going to perform a wonderful song from that album, the title song of the album. So here he is, Mr. Zane Griff, with the title song from his new album.
If I could, I would surely follow. And if I could retrieve the words I swallow. The moon brings mood swings. There's no tomorrow, there's this love warning in my head. It's frightening. The moon brings mood swings. There's no tomorrow, there's this love warning in my head. It's in her power, as if I would hurt a precious flower, as if I would destroy a love like ours. The moon brings mood swings. There's no tomorrow, there's this love warning in my head. It's frightening. The moon brings mood swings. There's no tomorrow, there's this love warning in my head. It's in her power. The moon brings mood swings. There's no tomorrow, there's this love warning in my head. It's frightening. The moon brings mood swings. Don't get excited in this dance. She is fooling with my head. It's in her power. It's in her power.
Mood Swings. Beautiful song. It's such a good hook.
It's in her power.
Songwriting's just... You're going great, man.
Thank you. Thank you, Shane. You're very kind.
I'm going to go and buy 5 copies of this myself. Go out and buy the CD. It's by Zane Griff, Mood Swings. You can't go wrong with that CD, I'm telling you. You're going to enjoy it for years to come. It really is a beautiful album. And you put so much effort into it, I know. And now you're out there promoting it, so you must be doing some gigs,
Yeah.
Zane.
Well, we went as far as Tokyo, did shows in Tokyo, and I must say some of that album is recorded in Tokyo.
Okay.
It's also recorded in London and recorded here
So
in New Zealand.
It's Japanese, it's an Anglo-Jap, Kiwi project.
Yeah, with a lot of different mixture of musicians, so, and it's really...
Yeah.
really
Japanese musicians too?
Yeah, Japanese musicians too.
But you performed in Japan?
Yeah, in Tokyo, did 2 shows over there, which went down really, really well because back in the time when I was doing my music in London, I was more successful in Japan than what I was in London.
Isn't that crazy?
Because of the image and the glamour and all the...
Because you were a rather glamorous character.
Well, I think all of us were around that period of time.
In that romantics, new wave thing in the 80s.
Yeah, that's how we were. It was a cigarette, coffee, and then put on your makeup.
Now, where are we going to go and see you in the near future here in New Zealand?
Well, it's strange.
As you are now.
Well, I'm about to do the Bowie concert, which is going to be April 15th at the ASB Theatre.
Okay.
Along with Alistair Riddell, Eddie Rayner, and
that's going to be a great night.
Jordan Luck at the ATS Centre, the ASB Theatre.
Yeah, fantastic.
So it's almost like an honouring him.
Have you got a name for the show?
It's called Waiting in the Sky.
Waiting in the Sky. Now look out for that show. Please go and get your tickets at the ATS Centre. Yours truly, Zane Griff, will be there.
Yep.
With Jordan Luck and
Alistair Riddell. Eddie Rayner,
Alistair
Riddell.
Yeah, and Alistair's a great fan of Bowie, so...
Oh,
he
totally,
had to be there,
He had to be there.
And he had the glam rock thing going.
He
as well.
totally
must
did.
get him on the show. I keep trying to get in touch with him, but
I'll see him tomorrow and
see him tomorrow and tell him he's
got to come in.
He's in. Anyway, it's been a pleasure tonight being here with you and my other special guest, Edwina Thorne. Zane, I want to have you back as soon as I can. There's so many things to talk about. We couldn't squeeze it into such a short format.
Lovely to see you again after all these years, Shane.
I'm trying to get the show into an hour, format. But anyway,
come
back again soon. Best of luck with all your music.
Thank you.
Thank you. How time flies when you're having fun. Well, it's that time. We've got to go. Thanks for joining me here on Rockin' the Planet. Until next week, I'll see you same time, same place next week. Until then, keep on rockin'.